are the nuggets coming? Hey, Paige, did you order the nuggets?
Yep.
Did you order all the nuggets?
All of them.
There's 3 of us. How many did you order?
All of them.
24 nuggets.
Did you count?
Mathing is hard. Yeah, we each get 8.
We have 24 nuggets coming.
That's 2 dozen nuggets.
Shh, don't tell Jim.
We ordered no nuggets.
No nuggets for Jim. I mean, for us.
I wonder if it would have been easier to order like a 20 and a Happy Meal.
Cheaper, probably.
I wonder how many different ways you could order 24 nuggets.
Young Rebecca literally said, why don't you order the big box of nuggets?
No.
And then
It's not a potluck.
I came up with this better way to spend more money.
I do that for potlucks. I'm so excited about chicken nuggets now I can't even think.
That's the cold open. Cue the music.
Cue the music. When are the nuggets coming? We should tell listener that we actually left the house this weekend.
Mm-hmm. We went to a thing.
We created our own fun.
We created a tour.
A beer tour.
A
Saturday
brutalism tour. No, you're hating this, right?
A Saturday afternoon day drinking. How many breweries can we hit in 3 hours?
Complete with a very kind chauffeur who shall remain nameless.
That's right. Very kind. With a very cute assistant.
Yes. The best.
The best assistant. So we were in the mood for some beer this weekend.
Mm-hmm. So every weekend.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about what we encountered?
Let's do it. Who are you?
Oh, for Pete's sakes. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Paige.
And this is
Made from What's Left.
Holy, I feel like we haven't done this in weeks.
Made from what's left of our brains.
When was the last time we recorded an episode? 1987.
Well, it felt like it because we did high schools.
That's true. We did do high schools.
Yeah. Do we want to say what we did this weekend?
We just said we went on a brewery tour, did we not?
Okay. Do we want to define that for people?
Well, we can.
Like, do we want to say something like we hit up 4 breweries, all in a similar area, some of which are new. And this was probably part 1 in a multi-series where we're going to try and hit up other breweries in the city.
Yeah, I think it's going to take us like 4
tours.
5. It's going to take us 5 tours.
This is part 1 of 5, folks.
Yes.
So,
but not consecutive weeks because I don't think we could handle that.
Right. No.
Sometime between now and next year, we will have hit all the breweries in Winnipeg.
We might do 1 a year.
And we'll return to the original 4 to see how they're faring.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Do you want me to talk a little bit about beer in Manitoba?
Yeah.
Historically, people like the history.
Do they?
Don't they?
I don't know.
They seem to.
I tend to refer to those as boring facts.
Should we tell them they could start fast forwarding here?
Yeah. Fast forward for the next, how many pages do you have there?
Skip ahead for the next 6.5 minutes.
Yeah,
I have some fun facts about history of beer in Manitoba.
Hit it.
I'm going to go all the way back to 1668.
What?
Coincidentally, the year I started high school.
And that's why they didn't have lids on Slurpees.
You're going to love this fun fact. Captain Zachariah Gillam of the Hudson's Bay Company ship Nonsuch, of which you're familiar, introduced beer to the first HBC post at Rupert House on the 29th of September, 1668.
So is that when the neighborhood all went to hell?
Yeah, that's like oddly specific.
It is.
His crew made a strong beer for the long voyage home the following year and proceeded to bury the kegs underground to protect them from freezing.
Interesting. So would this be an early IPA?
I don't think they were using hops on this
Oh.
particular venture.
Okay. What
Because
leads you?
in the reading that I've done about it, they were talking about how they weren't using hops.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
But also because hops were used as a preservative. And they were quite concerned that the beer wasn't going to be preserved.
I'm confused. Didn't they have to preserve it for a long time?
Yeah. But in this case, they did not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Like, you know how the whole thing with IPAs is that...
Yeah. I thought this was like a long trip.
Well,
This was not a long trip.
it was long, but I don't know if the beer lasted the whole time.
Right. En route. Consumed en route.
But later, I think that they were bringing in more beer making supplies.
Yeah.
Because they talk about bringing in large amounts of malt barley and different things. I feel like maybe at Rupert House they didn't have fresh hops in 1668.
Well, without having farmed them.
Right?
Do hops grow naturally in Canadian?
Yeah.
So maybe they did?
Maybe.
But
this is becoming wildly speculative.
So
These are
not
supposed to be
unlike
fun facts. Now it's just Paige is just going to make up her own story.
Sorry, I'm not. All right, you carry on. You carry on.
So at the time, whiskey, rum, brandy, and wine were used more for trading and gifts. But beer was shipped to and brewed at all HBC posts in Rupert's Land for the employees' consumption.
Because it was a fan fave?
I guess. Got to keep the employees happy.
Or maybe just inexpensive? Okay, here I am, speculating again. We don't know.
Well, they were keeping the good stuff for the customers.
Right.
And to, smooth over trading partners and that kind of thing.
Grease the wheels.
That's right. As HBC expanded its operations in Rupert's Land in the 1700s and solidified its holdings through trade, beer production remained a mandated provision at post breweries, but rarely a traded commodity.
You hardly sound like you're reading.
I didn't read a word of that, did I?
No.
Okay, by 1874...
Okay, so we're creeping up there.
A year after Winnipeg was incorporated as a city.
Yeah.
Winnipeg and its surrounding area was home to 7 licensed craft production breweries, catering to a population of 1,869.
7 breweries.
7 breweries
do
for
we know-
1,800 people.
Can we do a quick comparison? Do we know how many breweries are in Winnipeg right now?
Okay, I counted 24.
For a population of
1,873.
700,000?
Yes. We're not quite at the same ratio.
We don't have the same ratio. Is this something we should fix?
Maybe.
Less people or more breweries?
Less people.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I want to read you something because I know you love reading.
Give her.
This is from the Manitoba Historical Society.
Friends of the pod.
This is gonna paint a little picture. In April of 1880, last call was made at the Lower Fort Garry Brew House. The unmistakably sweet smells of caramel and roasted grain ebbed from the causeway. The woody character of aged oak casks on racks and earthy hop odors of grass and pine hung in the rafters. The aromas embedded in the brew house represented a storied craft, perfected over the Hudson's Bay Company's 200 years in Rupert's Land. That spring, demolition men set upon the structure with hammers, tearing down the smokestack, unearthing the plastered wood lath walls of the cellar, and hauling the boil kettles and malt kiln out by horse cart.
Where to?
It was gone. HBC was done with brewing.
Done.
1880.
Wow.
Good for them.
They got the city going and then they cut bait.
Yes.
All right.
I know. And I also wanted to mention home brewing. Because several of the breweries that we visited this weekend were started by home brewers.
Cool.
Shout out to home brewers.
Yeah.
The history of settler home brewing in Winnipeg begins with the arrival of the Selkirk settlers and the establishment of their agricultural colony adjacent to Fort Douglas in 1812. But it's possible that an earlier Métis population may have produced a rudimentary beer from small plot agriculture outside Fort Rouge.
I would like to posit all of the brewing was rudimentary at that time.
Well, I mean...
Even the ones with kettles.
True. I mean, sometimes now home brewing.
Yeah.
So when Winnipeg started up, the home brewer
Yeah.
was viewed negatively by the newly formed state, which sought to codify ways of producing and consuming beer, ultimately building a racial and evangelistic temperance framework that exists to present day.
Well,
Bam!
yeah.
So did we have any rhyme or reason when we planned our trip?
Well, I think it was a route.
It was a route.
And it was loosely planned around hot dogs for lunch.
And proximity to home.
Yeah, no, I think we kicked off the tour by first stopping at,
Lowlife Barrel House,
which is located at
398 Daly Street North.
Yeah, Daly Street North.
And I just had to look up to see. It is 300 meters from my house. I think that's important to note.
That's within stumbling distance.
But it was my first time going. You can't get any closer than that.
Nope.
Honestly. They were as close as the ice store.
It's quite it's quite convenient for you.
It is, especially in the summer.
Yeah. And of course it's not up yet, but I'm told we were told that it has a patio in the summer.
Yes.
Great big overhead doors. Am I stealing your thunder here?
No.
Okay, great big overhead doors that they'll open up.
You're kind of putting the cart before the horse.
Oh, horse, cart.
You're already on the patio.
My heart is on the patio.
The tap room opened in May 2022.
Well, happy birthday.
So almost happy birthday.
Happy day of birth, I mean.
By the time this airs.
Yeah.
But Lowlife was actually launched in 2019 within Barnhammer.
Oh.
So they were brewing out of Barnhammer, kind of like a little sister brewery.
Yeah.
And they have since grown into a 7,500 square foot brewery, bottle shop, and tap room, and urban winery.
Urban winery.
Yeah, we didn't taste any of their wines while we were there.
We didn't. They had beer, wine, and kombucha.
Well, kombucha was like their non-alcoholic. They have something called a piquette.
What's that?
It's a low alcohol wine cousin with a little bit of
Okay.
fizz to it.
Oh.
Or as my Oma would say, a little bit of prick.
A little bit of prick. We love Oma.
And they have some light snacks available.
Yes.
As well as with any of the tap rooms, I think you can order in food or bring your own food in
Nice.
because of those weird rules that we could talk about later.
Okay.
I think one of the things when we walked in, we were blown away by how nice the tap room was.
It's beautiful in there.
Absolutely beautiful.
The barrels,
Yes.
the tropical plants,
Yes.
the little stools that look like chess pieces,
Yes.
the barrels that you could sit at.
Yes. They had all kinds of different seating. They had low seating, high seating, window seating, bar seating.
Yeah.
We didn't want to sit at the bar because we wanted to talk openly about the beers.
The fella who was in there was very nice.
He was lovely.
Yeah.
So those big barrels, they're called fooders. I've been calling them foeders this whole time,
Oh,
but apparently they're called fooders.
fooders.
Fooders. They are a large oak barrel where beer is fermented, and it allows the beer to take its time to mature and completely develop.
Wow.
I know.
Oak barrel, you said?
An oak barrel. Do you want to know more about fooders, or
Yeah, tell me more.
can I read you this little bit from Hop Culture?
Please do.
For practical purposes, a fooder stores more beer in a smaller footprint. A typical fooder spans at least 3 times larger than a wine or beer barrel, holding usually a minimum of 5 barrels, around 160 gallons. But fooders can be constructed to hold even higher volumes of beer. I believe the ones at Lowlife were 2,000 liter fooders. So rather than racking, managing, and storing numerous barrels, a brewer can use a fooder to save space and time. And additionally, because fooders store a larger volume of beer, there's less likelihood of cross-contamination from yeast and bacteria compared to barrels.
And they had 2 different types of fooders.
Yes.
They had vertical and horizontal fooders.
Yes.
And we asked them what the difference was.
And he said one was vertical and one was horizontal.
Literally no difference.
No difference. But I think they were moving to the vertical ones.
Were they?
I think so, yeah. Well, that's
Okay.
what they had more of
Oh, yeah. See, my
all
brain.
along that wall.
Okay, I thought it was more horizontal, but I was just taking all the sights and sounds in. I thought it was really neat that there was just a little glimpse of the brew house
Yes.
from within the sitting area.
Yes. It was a beautiful... What was that building before? Like a auto body shop or a garage?
Electra Signs.
So kind of a nondescript industrial building.
Yeah.
And then you walk in and it's really warm and bright and elegant, I thought, with the fooders.
Yeah,
Like it looked like a really classy joint.
it really did.
I think we should have dressed up better.
I thought, yeah, a little underdressed. The one thing I forgot to do when we were there was try out the washroom.
Yes.
I have no comments on the washroom.
No, we weren't ready to break the seal yet, I don't think. But I thought it was a nice space in that you could have a group, you could have a very intimate conversation.
Yeah.
It was broken up lots of different ways. And then the patio, which you mentioned, is also dog friendly in the summer.
And yes. And I look forward to patronizing that patio with a dog.
I look forward to your patronizing attitude. Do you want to talk a bit about the beers that we tasted?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I wanted to mention too that the music was late 80s alt.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. Walked into some David Bowie and
That
kind of got things off on a good foot.
There were bops.
Yeah.
For sure.
We had a beer called Kiss Kiss.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Kiss Kiss?
It has an ABV of 6.0.
Good job.
Percent.
6%.
And it was hella sour.
It's hella sour.
That's all I can tell you.
Do you remember what kind of berry was in it?
I do not, because I'm not a fan of a sour beer, so it hit me, and I said nope.
We learned a lot about Paige this weekend.
Except Paige already knew this.
Kiss Kiss was with Haskap.
Oh,
berries.
Yeah. And then you taught me what a Haskap was.
Yeah.
An elongated blueberry.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it looks like an elongated blueberry. Does not taste like a blueberry.
Right. It tastes, by all accounts, very sour.
Has this like same color as a blueberry and the same kind of like white haze.
Bluey, whitey. Yeah.
Yeah, but long.
Yeah.
Very odd, but native to the prairies. I totally got the name as soon as I took a sip because I puckered right off.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now and my lips are puckering. It was so tart, but it was so good.
It makes you reenact the character's face on the cover of Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
Package.
Like exactly that. And I enjoyed it more than you did, but for what it was, you thought it was good too.
I don't think I said that.
Well, like for what it was, you were interested in the berry.
I think I made a lot of faces. And I think I pronounced to you that I do not like sour beer.
You're such a dink. And then I proceeded to order sours everywhere we went. That was the most fun for me.
Hot tip. She redeems herself later in this episode.
Hot tip. I'm looking to see. Did you bring home the...
I did.
Do you have it here?
Do you want it?
Yeah. I wanted to see what kind of beer that was. Okay. Kiss Kiss is a foeder-aged Brett Sour Saison, fermented on local Haskap berries, tart, dry, and refreshing.
But also super sour.
It was
super
tart.
sour.
It was very tart. We talked a bit about Brett while we were there.
Yeah.
Do you remember what we learned?
I remember that you made up a word.
Brettanomyces.
It's a disease. And if you get it, you enjoy sour beer.
It's a yeast.
Is there a cream for that Brettanomyces?
It's a wild yeast. And any beer that's fermented using the Brettanomyces yeast could be considered a Brett beer.
Does that mean sour, or does that have nothing to do with sour?
So from the Beer Judge Certification Program, I have this. I know. I'm reading today. It's like
no.
My literacy surprises you.
No. I was laughing at how seamless that segue was.
For once. The addition of Brett ensures a drier, thinner, and funkier product.
Funky.
Remember we talked about the funk?
Yeah.
A little bit of like barnyard.
That beer has the funk.
Younger versions are brighter and fruitier, while older ones possess more depth of funk and may lose more of the base style character. Compared to the same beer style without Brett, a Brett beer will be drier, more highly attenuated, don't ask me what that means, fruitier, lighter in body, and slightly funkier as it ages. Now you know. Mm-hmm. But we can just call it Brett, so we don't have to use the big word.
Yep. Okay.
So, okay, Low Life, Kiss Kiss was a big hit for me. Then we tried Tempest Starry.
We did 8.1%.
That one was also a Brett Saison, foeder aged. Aged on Manitoba cherries.
Yeah.
And they say it has baking spices, cherries, and oak as the notes in it. What did you think of that one?
My notes are bad. Well, good. No, bad. Well,
That one,
Maybe it was good.
It was a wild ride for you.
It was up and down and up and down and up and down.
We should have had something in between the beers because I think our first sip of everything was surprising. And then the second sip, you were like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, this one particularly, it was just bad, good, bad, good.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I was just like, all right, maybe.
Yeah, for me, it went through like your first sip and then when it was in your mouth and then your aftertaste were three different things.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit oaky, a little bit funky.
Quite funky.
But I thought it was very refreshing.
I don't have any of those comments.
We had the Blood Cut IPA.
We did.
That was a Brett IPA.
Yep.
Food or aged. Hopped with Eldorado, Vic Secret, and Sabro. Flavors of tropical fruit, oak, and Brett Funk. I have so good.
I have tropical and unique.
I have tropical, accessible, and not too hoppy.
It wasn't super hoppy.
No.
Like the tropical flavors sort of knocked down the...
Yeah. Like if you have someone
bitterness.
that's afraid of an IPA, but they kind of like an IPA or they want to try an IPA,
yeah,
it's a good one because it's not like punch you in your face with hops.
It was delightful.
It was really good.
At 3.4%, a pretty low ABV for an IPA.
It was crushable. It was sessionable.
You could crush it. And we did. We crushed that 4 ounces.
We crushed it. They were served in beautiful like tulip glasses.
Yeah,
like
they were
tall
really
stemmed.
Nice. Yeah.
Very pretty. We finished with small pale.
We sure did. And I don't have the ABV for the small pale. Do you have it there?
3.4.
Oh, another little one.
Refreshing and light, yet complex. Hopped with Galaxy, Sabro, and Citra. Okay, I thought that one tasted like candy.
To me, it was mango popping boba.
Yes.
Like it actually tasted like popping boba.
Yep.
And it was so good. It was delightful.
This one was under their clean beer selection. So meaning without that Brett yeast.
No funk.
No funk. It was refreshing. And I would say if you're new, try that one.
Yeah.
If you have someone in your group that's like a little unsure about kind of the funkier beers, that one is like perfect entry level, delicious. I like that one.
I think we were fantasizing about having that one on the patio.
Yes.
In the summer.
300 meters from my house.
And then stumbling back.
Instead of drinking Slurpees with gin in my front yard.
Which is also an option.
We can walk across the street.
So for each of the breweries, I didn't tell you this, but
oh boy.
I took the liberty of going on Google. Low Life Barrel House has 4.7 out of 5 stars on Google. And under the heading that I call People Are Saying.
Yes.
I'm going to start with the lowest rating.
Okay.
1 out of 5 stars, no comment from somebody named I Got Game. Well,
clearly
sir,
they don't got
I
game.
Disagree. 5 out of 5 stars from Yak Man.
Okay.
Saying, good selection of brewed beverages. Service and staff are exceptional. Prices are reasonable. Wall of giant barrels is amazing. Come see it and have a pint or two. Nuff said.
That was an excellent review.
I thought so.
All accurate.
It even has a winky smiley.
I would support that. I would give that a thumbs up. Is that an option? Can I thumbs up that review?
You can thumb that review all you want.
I'm going to thumb it.
And yeah, so that's the People Are Saying. So yes, I gave you an assignment.
To write a haiku about each brewery.
So we both did this. So
do you want to do your haiku first because you made the assignment?
Okay. I made the assignment and I cheated.
You used ChatGPT to write your haikus.
I did.
I think that we should get viewer to write in and say whose haikus they preferred.
Well, maybe we should have not disclosed my transgressions before we had them vote.
All right, please. Wait, we should just say the haiku follows the standard format of 575.
Yes.
Okay.
Aged in oak barrels. Brewed with care, time, and patience. Sip and savor bliss.
That's actually really good.
Isn't it?
That's a really good haiku.
Cheers to GPT.
That's a really good haiku.
We get a check mark for that. Okay, hit me.
Haskap berry beer will cause your lips to pucker. A kiss kiss indeed.
I have shivers.
That was a good haiku.
That was excellent.
That was a good haiku.
I dig it. All right.
So not far from Low Life Barrel House is Sucrum's.
Sucrums.
I bet that's 500 meters from my house. Maybe 600 meters.
Are we going to measure everything from
my house.
walking distance? Yeah.
Founded by Andrew Sucrum, who was a longtime home brewer, award-winning home brewer.
Doesn't the name Sucrums just straight up sound like
you want to go there and drink things?
Yeah.
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 It sounds like juicy.
And like
it's a juicy name.
Well, and like it like it's just been around forever.
It feels like it.
Anyway, carry on.
It is a socially conscious family-owned business focused on brewing beers everyone will love.
Agreed.
And as an aside, Andrew is the childhood friend of my stepbrother.
No way.
Fact.
So do you...
No.
Did you know him?
Well, I knew him when he was like 10 and was hanging around my car.
Any hot goss?
With a baseball. I probably yelled at the kids. I have no hot goss. Those were the most annoying kids.
That's hot goss.
Well, I guess. But, I was like 16 and he was probably 10.
Just a youth.
Yeah, just youths. The tap room opened in March 2019 and has a very chill neighborhoody vibe.
Agreed.
I think you mentioned that when we were there. It felt very neighborhoody.
Yeah, there were a couple of dudes, older fellas at the bar.
Yep.
Doing the older fella at the bar thing.
Yep.
It felt like these fellas just walked in from the area.
I bet they did. Do you think the people were referring to us as the older ladies at the table?
Oh, probably.
Oh, no.
Oh. No, the older loud ladies at the table.
I think so.
And they were asking why we keep taking pictures of them. Sorry.
It was the smallest of the 3 tap rooms that we visited. Totally different vibe.
Yep.
It was very like casual, grab a board game, grab a drink, hang out, seating at long tables and a bar.
And artwork for sale.
There was artwork for sale. The bartender was very cool and friendly and had some great suggestions for our flight.
Yeah. Yeah, he helped us fill in the blanks.
And he was, he enjoyed a word puzzle. He was a wordler.
He
I
was...
like to talk to the people who are into the Wordle, the spelling bee.
For the record, you didn't ask the others.
No.
About their...
about their literacy.
Yeah, no, about their affinity for Wordle. Yeah.
For snacks, we didn't have any snacks when we were there, but
No.
they had Island Fusion doubles.
Yeah.
Which is like the, it's like a...
Samosa?
Yeah, it's like a pizza pop with like chickpeas and stuff.
So samosa?
No.
Didn't we already
More
have
like
this?
a pizza pop?
Didn't we
Aren't
have this?
samosas like triangular?
Well, shape, but like...
Locally made biltong from Mr. Biltong.
What's that?
It's a South African jerky. Like a
Why
beef
didn't
jerky.
we have that?
I don't know. And they have an array of chips. Chips for snacks.
Oh, cool.
And you can bring your own food in if you want.
Right.
Or you can have like skip the dishes, skipped right to Sucrum's.
Okay, we
But
will.
I think in the summer they've had like the Tot Wagon and different food trucks
Tot Wheels.
adjacent. Tot Wheels? Yes, the Tot Wagon. So what did we drink at Sucrum's while we listened to the Tragically Hip?
I'm pretty sure we started with Mango Tango.
I'm pretty sure we
did
started
not.
with...
As You Wish, Buttercup.
That's right.
My
Which
bad.
was a chocolate salted caramel porter. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought the salt really came through on that. Kind of cut any sweetness that...
It did, actually. My notes were that it was pretty predictable for a porter, except for the saltiness.
I can't tell when she's being complimentary.
Oh, I'm not, because I'm not really a
Yeah,
fan
you don't
of a
like
porter.
a porter. That's why I had it. That's why I ordered it. I like a porter. I like a stout.
She cornered the market on all the beers I don't care for.
Yeah.
It had an ABV of 5.
Yeah.
And it was lactosey.
Yeah. I had some lactose. I thought it was caramelly.
I believe you used the word, which I then banned, mouthfeel.
Yeah, it had a good mouthfeel. I can't read the word that I have written here. Oh, it's portery. I said it was portery.
Portery?
It's portery.
But you can't read it because it's not a word.
I thought it was a good representation of the style.
It was definitely portery. That's what I meant when I said predictable.
We also enjoyed that the name was a shout out to the Princess Bride.
We did. And then we quoted as many lines from the movie that we could think of.
Yep, we did that, which added to it. Then we moved on to Mango Tango, which I believe was a variation on Cosmos.
Yeah.
Which is one of their more popular dry hop sours.
Yeah, because you were endlessly trying to get me to drink sours.
I have written down here on my notes, the face. And I think that was referring to your first sip.
Oh, yeah, I probably had a face.
You pulled a face.
Yeah.
It wasn't the face that we're going to share on our socials, but it was a face. These poor people. I'm glad the brewers weren't there to see her react to the
may
tarts.
care about my face. Yeah, no, I'm, once again, not a fan of a sour. Mm-hmm. So I made the face. But I almost think you made the face too, actually.
I made a little bit of a face.
You made a face.
It's something I enjoy, though. I like a tart.
You like to experience the face.
I like the lip smacking.
You do, eh?
Yes.
Ugh. Okay, what did you have for notes on Mango Tango?
I thought it was tart and refreshing.
I just have sour.
Fruit forward.
That's it.
And a festival of hops. But I might have said festival of hops for the last one. It's kind of in the same spot.
Oh, okay.
Third, we had proximity alert.
Yes.
Whoo, I said. Whoo. It was boozy. What was the ABV on that one? 10?
10.
10.
It was a triple, which I think is interesting because...
A triple IPA.
Yeah. I think that's interesting because doubles are usually around 8%.
Sure.
A triple at 10.
Sure.
This isn't math, is it?
But like, what's a single? Like 6? It just goes up by 2.
But that's...
I don't know.
Not... All right.
I have it was bitter. It
Yeah.
was resinous. Could not smash.
Yeah. Well, I could smash, but it would be one and done.
Yeah.
It was
There would have been a fight.
Yeah.
We would have been hair pulling, kicking. We'd have been kicking each other out in the parking lot. We're fighting about something.
I have a note that's a mid-tongue bitter.
Yes.
It hit you right in the middle of the tongue.
Yeah.
And that it was boozy. And you said resinous. I asked you to expound on that a little. And you said it was fur-y.
Well, like, to me, like, some hops have, like, this really resinous taste to them, like, almost like tree sap.
Okay.
I got that kind of, like...
I'm not sure I necessarily felt that, but maybe because of just the straight alcohol influence in that beer is very powerful.
It was the lack of biltong.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should have been eating beef jerky the whole time.
That's right.
Fourth, we tried Kinetic.
Kinetic Hazy.
It was a hazy. I thought it was grapefruit peel. It was the taste that I was getting. I really liked it.
I have Tropical and Unique, which I feel like was kind of a repeat of something I said about the last brewery.
She's using the same card for every... They were all so unique. They were tropical and unique.
And unique.
All of them.
I have a smiley face for that one.
Did you write a haiku for Sukrams?
I did. Wait. Let's find out what people are saying.
Oh, I forgot about your new feature, your new segment. What are people saying?
So 4.9 out of 5 stars on Google.
Sure. There's always that one guy.
Lowest rating, 1 out of 5 stars.
It's going to be one of these guys. The door was locked when I got there.
No.
Okay.
In this case, it was no comment again. From Cal Bud.
No bud of mine.
That's right. He's nobody's bud. 5 out of 5 stars. Excellent beer, wonderful bartenders, nice laid-back space with great music playing, child and dog friendly. Love having this place as my neighborhood bar. Did you write this?
I should have, except for the child-friendly part. That's how you know it wasn't me.
Actually, it was RJ Leland. So thank you, RJ, for accurately, I think, reflecting our experience there. Yeah, except for the child-friendly part.
You going to hit me with your cheater haiku?
Yep.
Okay.
Sukrams in the Peg. Crafting beer with heart and soul. Winnipeg's finest brews.
That's okay.
It's all right.
It's accurate.
It's it. It is.
Are you ready for mine?
Yeah.
I should come here more. Stumbling distance from my home. Just call me Buttercup.
That's excellent.
Yay.
Aww.
I can't believe that I did the assignment and she didn't.
I totally
You did
cheated at the assignment.
Yeah, you totally cheated.
By the way, the one other comment I wanted to make on this one, because I did use the bathroom, is that the beer label wallpaper was really cool.
Oh, yeah, you liked that.
I thought that was neat.
I like that. The non-alcoholic options, I noticed that they had a wide selection of Lloritos, Mexican soda.
Nice.
We moved on.
We did.
We went downtown. We went over the bridge. On my way to work, incidentally, is Devil May Care Brewing Company.
It's on my way to work, too.
I know. We could go there together on our ways to work.
Or on our ways home.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's at 155A Fort Street.
Yes.
Across from a daycare.
It's,
So it's on a lot of people's ways to somewhere.
That's why there's always a little bit of a traffic jam at that corner.
Yeah. Do you want to know a little bit about Devil May Care?
I sure do.
Started by home brewers, again, home brewers, shout out. Colin Coop and Steve Gauthier started brewing together in 2015. In 2018, they purchased some equipment and entered the contract brewing world.
Ooh.
Since then, they've been through a couple location changes,
Okay.
a pandemic,
Oh.
and now a new tap room. That was a dramatic pause for no reason. So they are brewing their core canned beers out of Torque, I believe.
Okay.
But they have several small batch tanks in the new location. So they're doing some on-site brewing. And that's, again, where they get to do those more experimental,
Cool.
different brews.
Cool.
Do you want to know a little bit about the building they're in?
I actually have notes about the building. So I'm going to...
Notes about the building.
It's the only one noteworthy
Okay.
of the four.
Why don't you tell us about the building?
I would like you to tell me, and then I'll just correct you when you're wrong.
Okay. It was a building designed by Max Blankstein
Yeah.
for the General Motors Company. It's a one-story building constructed with a steel frame and concrete with brickwork on the exterior accented by diamonds of white Tyndall stone.
I have bad news.
What?
Our source is the same, so I'm not going to be able to call you on anything wrong.
No. Shout out to the Winnipeg architecture.
Carry on.
It was opened in 1928, and the building was designed with a showroom big enough for 100 cars, a parts depot, and a repair bay.
I'm going to call bullshit on the 100 cars.
You don't think they could have got 100 cars in there?
No. But I will say, it was originally designed to be 3 stories.
Yes, and the Depression prevented them from adding the top 2 stories.
So I'm wondering if it was 100 cars in 3
On-
stories.
With some sort of elevator.
Yeah.
With a lift.
Maybe. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
They have 3,000 square feet for their tap room. I thought it has a fun, relaxed vibe, but I saw it described online as a gritty blue-collar vibe.
What?
Did you think it was gritty?
There's spray paint.
I thought it was fun.
It was totally fun. It was hip and young and cool, and maybe I'm not hip or young or cool, and that's why I'm...
Original concrete floor.
Yeah.
But the focal points of the room for me were the large graffiti mural and the big illuminated marquee menu board.
So wait a minute. Is that all you had for the building?
Do you have more about the building?
Well, just a little bit. Okay. At one point, the building was painted.
Yes.
But then at some point, it was restored.
Yes.
Which is great because it's a pretty cool brick building.
Yes.
So
those diamonds would have been covered up.
Yeah. Heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. So GMC was there until 1939. I thought it was kind of interesting, the short list of people who used it after.
It was actually a pretty long list.
Yeah.
And the last one in there as a car place was Tony's Academy Service, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bolton Motors, Twin City Motors, Mitchell City Motors, York Tools, Frontier Toyota, then Tony's Academy Service.
Yeah.
And then it was redesigned into multi-tenant office space, and it was occupied by Mondrian in 2014 and Riley's in 2015, or Riley's right up until I think it was vacant, and then now the brewery.
Okay.
The only other thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you mentioned it was built for $75,000.
That's true. I didn't say
That
it.
seems like a low number to me.
It is, but, one story. in 1927.
But one story with the foundation for 3.
Yeah, true.
That's an expensive single story. The original, if you see the old school photos of the building, the original transom windows were really cool. They've since been covered over, unfortunately. So I think it would have been kind of cool to see those transom windows open up. But
I did notice that Devil May Care put their initials over the door, covering up the GMC logo.
Yeah.
I think it would have just been easier to pick a name that started with a G.
GMC.
Instead of DMC, they could have been GMC. Like
Devil May Care. It's terrible.
I'm going to call them that from now on. I also wanted to note the name is Devil May Care.
Yeah.
But they seem that they actually do care.
They sure do.
They had free tampons in the non-gendered bathrooms. And there was also a sign in the bathroom saying if anyone's being creepy, that's not tolerated, so let us know. And they had posters up for downtown Safe Walk.
And while we're talking about the bathrooms...
Oh, no, we're not going to go there.
I would like to point out...
Paige has a thing for shared sinks.
No, I don't have a thing. I have a hatred for them, but that's actually not what I was going to bring up. I don't know if you noticed, the floor has been painted in the bathroom, and the original terrazzo is peeking through. And I don't know if that's intentional, but I love it. So I kind of hope that...
You're going to pick at the floor and get all the terrazzo?
No, I'm not. But I like the, what's the word?
The incongruous juxtaposition of...
No, banned. The liminal...
Oh, liminal.
Of that terrazzo.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
You also really liked the multi-level concrete bar top.
Yes, they've actually got some lower accessible bar top, which is really cool. And it's lightweight concrete with the fella told us 4 layers of a sealant, and apparently it's
impermeable.
Impermeable, yeah. It's handling all of the spills and things very well. And it looked like it because it looked like it was in great shape.
And it must be kid friendly because he said it's already had a crayon test. And then we saw a dads and toddlers group in there later.
There was a dads and toddlers group.
So in addition to the bar seating, and there's low accessible seats and high seats at the bar.
Yeah.
There's also lots of seating options through the room.
It's a big space.
It's a huge space.
Yeah.
It's 3,000 square feet.
We found a nice little spot to tuck in by the entrance there. So you can, it's quite big and quite open, but there are sort of more private little areas.
Yep. And the windows are covered, are they not? Yeah, you couldn't see through the windows.
Really?
There was something on the windows. Like we weren't just on display to the world. You couldn't see traffic going by.
Yeah, I think it's like window signage, but
like a film?
Yeah, but not completely covered, was it?
No, it was still like it was very light and bright. But...
I was taken aback by your essence, so I wasn't looking through the windows.
You were gazing at me and not the window right behind me.
It's true.
So we had to pick from, I don't know how many beers on that movie marquee up there.
They had lots.
They had a lot of beers.
And that fella helped us as well.
Yep. I think that was Steve.
Was it?
I think it was Steve.
I meant to ask you if that was one of the proprietors.
Maybe it was Steve. The music was 90s jams.
Yes.
All the way.
Yeah. That was enjoyable.
So we, they don't specifically have flights, but we negotiated a system of smaller glasses.
Yes.
So that we could taste lots. We started with making plans for Alex.
Yep.
Which I think is an XTC reference. Making plans for Nigel.
Grisette.
It was a grisette. It was a foamy beer.
Yes.
Very refreshing. And I've got on my notes, sessionable.
Oh, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noted down, I also think that this could be a very like starter-y kind of beer if you're not really accustomed to.
Yes.
Bear in mind that I don't have a ton of experience with all kinds of different beers. I kind of just stick in the IPA world. But I sort of compared it to like a Pilsner. Is that wrong?
Yeah.
It had it had a bright and enjoyable flavor to me that just reminded me of a Pilsner. And you say that's just wrong.
It's wrong.
All right, well, let's not say it out loud then. Let's just not let anyone hear me say that. It wasn't my favorite.
Really?
There was a shining star at this table, and it wasn't that one.
No, but I really liked it. I would hit that one again, especially summertime. Like, let's say you're riding your bike to the Forks, and you don't necessarily want to have a radler. Mm-hmm. This would be like a really light, refreshing.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
The next one, not Paige's favorite. It was called Pass the Sauce. It was so tart. It was like the tartest thing that we had all day. And I liked it. It was a cranberry beer.
This is the one with the real face.
This is the one. We're going to post the face on our socials. Are you familiar with Kombucha Girl? Yeah, Paige is Kombucha Girl.
I am not
Kombucha
Girl.
Face. Poor thing, she made the face.
Kombucha Girl and I know when a thing is unpredictably both bad and good at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was tart, and I think that it might have been a little too tart, but it was good.
It was very tart.
You weren't a fan.
Face.
We tried one. Steve, I think it was Steve, offered up Raspberry Larry.
Well, hang on. My notes. Hang on. We didn't talk about my notes for.
Did you even make notes?
Yeah, my notes were no. Just no. With an exclamation point.
That's
all
why
caps.
I didn't go. I didn't ask.
Oh, sorry. All right.
But then Steve to the rescue. We're just going to call him Steve.
We're going to call him Steve.
With Raspberry Larry.
Which was exceptional.
Which was the first tart beer that Paige has ever enjoyed. And it tasted exactly like Nutty Club Raspberry Drops. Exactly.
And the funny thing is, we both tried it while he was standing there. We both expressed our devoted love for this beer. And then he felt like he had to confess that it had an industrial flavoring in it.
Yeah, which was fine.
Which was totally fine, because he then told us they're going to do a fuzzy peach one.
Yeah.
And a rocket pop one.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to try that.
Yeah, we're all there for the candy beers.
Yeah.
We're showing our true colors here. I thought it smelled incredible.
Oh, yeah. It smelled and tasted exactly like raspberry drops.
Yeah.
No question.
Golden Record, on the other hand, smelled and tasted like beer.
A West Coast IPA.
Yeah. It had hops with an exclamation point.
It had a lot of hops. Caramel notes, too.
And I have it was beery.
It was beery. I would agree with that. 6.9
Yep.
ABV.
Yep.
I had a big smiley face for that one.
Hardly working.
Are you just talking about what I'm doing right now?
Yeah.
That was a saison.
It was a saison. Did it have a Belgian yeast in it? Because it tasted like bananas to me.
Bananas.
And I don't love a Belgian beer because I don't like that banana clove flavor.
I just flatlined.
I mean, we finished it.
Yeah. we should probably mention we finished all of
these. We finished everything.
My notes were no. Well, it's fine, but no. So it would later in second taste redeemed it a bit, but it's not something I would order and enjoy.
You know what I'd like to know?
What
are people saying?
Well, but we didn't talk about shared sinks yet.
We're not going to talk about shared sinks on this episode.
We're not? Okay. Okay.
Enough negativity. I know where the 1-star review came from, and it's Miss Shared Sinks over there.
Made from a left does not endorse the use of shared sinks.
Hey, Paige, what are people saying about Devil May Care?
Oh, as it happens, 5 out of 5 stars on Google.
Oh. Do you know that if you get a 1-star review, it takes 10 5-star reviews to get your rating back up?
I didn't know that, but if everyone could rate and review this podcast, maybe we could get a rating.
The only reason we want them to rate and review is if they rate 5 stars.
5 out of 5.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't listen to someone else.
If you don't have anything nice to say, message that to us. If you've got secretly 5 out of 5 stars to say,
send a note to young Rebecca.
Rate us. 5 out of 5 stars on Google.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lowest rating because there isn't one.
Just give me the highest.
I'm going to give you 2 highs. Les Kahn says, beautiful space with a huge selection of beers on tap. You'll find something for whatever style you prefer.
That's true.
Agreed. And Kay Grewal said, by far the best brewery in town. Colin and Steve are absolutely phenomenal hosts. Plus, what a great atmosphere. 5-star recommendations only for this establishment. Hashtag star stuff.
I thought you were going to say hashtag Steve's mom.
What?
That was a glowing review.
Wasn't it?
That was a really good review.
You know where we went from here?
To Haiku Town.
No. Oh, yeah.
Do you have a haiku for me?
I sure do.
Let's hear what the robot overlords have to say about Devil May Care.
Crafted with great care, Devil May Care's brews abound, generosity found.
I think I got this one.
All right. You're not going to have the next one, though. Just saying.
The Devil May Care, but Paige doesn't fuck with sours. Roy says, more for me.
That would not have worked if your name wasn't Roy. Just saying.
I know.
Woo! Brilliant. You got it. You take that one.
I got that one.
Putting an X beside mine.
So we stopped for a hot dog.
Wiener break.
We don't need to talk about our wiener break.
Wiener break.
And then we booted it out to Kilter.
We're not going to talk about the wiener break?
I don't think we need to talk about our wiener. Do we need to talk about our wiener? We went to Winnipeg.
Yeah. Is that all we're going to say?
Well, yeah.
We'll do a Forks episode and we'll go into...
I think we need to do like a wiener episode.
Okay.
Because I think we need to explore more wieners in this town.
I agree. We gotta taste them all.
Kilter Brewing is located at 450 Rue Deschambault.
Either I was already 12 beers in, 12 tastes of beers
13 tastes in.
Either I was 13 tastes of beers in, or this one got a lot of smiley faces as compared with the others.
It was pretty smiley. We should mention to listener that of each beer, we probably each drank 2 ounces.
Yeah.
So we're not
tastes
completely in the can yet, and we did have a driver.
And we had a driver.
Once again, we did have a driver.
And the driver
spent the whole day pleasing 2 women.
who were exhausted by the end of it.
So Kilter is a locally owned and operated craft brewery with an expansive tap room.
Yeah.
And patio in an industrial building nestled in the heart of a neighborhood that may or may not exist.
Can I just say...
Saint Boniface.
Rue Deschambault.
Rue Deschambault.
It's fun to say.
It is. I like hearing the GPS say it.
What does it say?
It's just like... Turn left at Rue Deschambault.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible.
The tap room has a lush tropical design with a ton of seating options, including swing chairs.
Yeah.
But we couldn't sit in the swing chairs.
Oh, it was
booked for a wedding,
yeah.
for wedding photos. But it has a relaxed vacation-y vibe.
It sure does.
I've been there in the summer.
As have
I've been there in the winter. And it just feels like you're away.
It totally does.
It just makes you feel like you're just away for that little bit of time.
It has to be somehow influenced by the proximity to the river, don't you think?
All those ferns?
It just feels... It feels more like when you're on that patio, it feels very outdoorsy.
They have, I counted, 17 beers on tap.
17.
Plus, in the summer, they have frozen Slurpees. 2 eyes. They're the best.
They are so good.
They're the best. Do you remember when we went there and we had that green one?
Yeah.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
It was so good.
I would never have thought a beer Slurpee would be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent.
It's so good.
So if you don't like the concept of beer Slurpee, just give it a try.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They have a retail area with lots of cans to take home, plus merch. Actually, all of the tap rooms that we visited had retail.
Yeah.
They had cans and merch. I also noticed that there were dozens of games that you could take to your table and play with.
I didn't even notice that. Where were they?
Up by right when you come in the front door, if you turn right immediately.
Oh.
Wednesday nights, Victory Pints Game Store hosts a game night. And they actually bring their gaming experts to teach people how to play the games and
neato.
Facilitate gaming.
Why haven't we done this?
I don't know. Young Rebecca would like to do it.
Okay.
We'll take young Rebecca.
All right, let's do that.
Did we celebrate her birthday?
We
feel like
did.
it was months ago.
Yeah. She could have another one.
Food options I'm going to mention before we talk about beers.
Yes.
Right now they have sandwiches. Sometimes they have hot dogs.
Mm-hmm. Wieners.
And they have wieners. And they have snacky snacks like ripple chips and onion dip, hummus and naan, chips and salsa, Hawkins cheesies.
I didn't know they had Hawkins cheesies.
Hawkins cheesies.
Nice. Excellent. All of it's good. I haven't
All
had
of
a
it's
bad
good.
bite there.
No.
The hot dogs were hard to eat and messy, but really good.
Really, really good once you learned how to eat them.
I haven't learned.
I was there one time. We ordered the chips and dip, and they accidentally brought us the hummus. But the hummus was so good that we didn't want to send it back.
Well, that's good.
We
Now
just
you
ate the
know.
hummus with our chips.
Excellent.
Also, a low tolerance for fuckery.
What does
And
that
they
mean?
have a statement on their website saying that they do not allow any discrimination or harassment of any kind.
Excellent.
Kindness abounds at Gilter,
We appreciate kindness.
right?
Just not between each other.
No. It flows outward. We tried some beers.
Yes.
We started with Juicy Fruit,
Fruit spelled in the
Fruoot, in the Fruit Loops way.
in the Fruit Loops way.
My only notes for that are as advertised.
Well, I have that it's a pineapple IPA
Sure.
and that it was fresh and fruity.
Yes.
It smelled fruity
Yes.
and oh yeah. That's my notes.
Paige actually crashed through the wall, shaped like a pitcher. As soon as she tried it, it's really embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry I did that.
It was delicious. Like a take. It was a take on their popular Juicy, which
Yeah.
we've had many times.
Yeah. Very good.
What did we have next? Did we have Fog Machine, or did we have Czech Premium?
My notes said Czech
Oh,
Premium.
remember we got them mixed up because someone turned the flight board.
Yeah. Okay. So it was.
So we'll talk about whichever one you want to talk about.
It was fog. In order of tasting, it was Fog Machine next.
I have that one was resinous.
That was a Deepa double IPA.
Yes,
I hate Deepa. I don't even know why I just said that. 8%.
I have seems boozier than 5%.
It
But I
had-
think that's because we thought it was Czech Premium when we tried it.
That's right. We thought it was too boozy to
It
be.
was boozy.
Yeah.
It was good though.
It was boozy and bitter.
I thought it was a good representation of the style.
Okay, I would agree with that. I have my note is that it almost tasted like Juicy Interrupted. I don't know how else to explain it, but it was kind of like,
Like juicy, and then they threw more hops at it.
yeah,
Yeah.
or just alcohol, just threw alcohol at your face.
It was like, take a sip of juicy, but I'm going to smack you right afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we tried Czech Premium.
Yep.
I thought that this was a good craft beer for people who are new to craft beer.
I'd agree. This is a pale lager.
This is the one that you would take to your family barbecue when you don't know everybody's
Totally.
beer tastes.
It was unoffensive.
I thought it was beery. It was a beery beer.
It's beery. It was pretty close to like a commercial beer. Very tasty and totally unoffensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we tried one of my favorites, the coconut key lime pie.
So this is what I meant when I said that you redeemed yourself
Uh-huh.
earlier, because this is what I would describe as a sour
Yeah.
that I would drink and
That you would
enjoy.
drink. It was good.
So did you tell them what it's called?
Coconut key lime pie?
Was I just not listening?
No.
Okay. Good.
On brand.
On brand.
I have my only tasting notes for this because I've had it several times. It's magical pie beer.
Yes.
You can taste the graham cracker crust. You can taste the key lime. It's tart, but it's got like that creaminess to it.
I remind you, it was your 16th beer.
17th beer.
17th beer.
And we also had the chips and dip. So I was at this point 16 beers, a hot dog,
Chips and dip.
a caramel macchiato in the car.
Okay.
And still, this was like the dessert to cap off the day for
It
me.
was actually perfect.
Yeah, it was the perfect beer to finish on.
So I would come back.
Yeah.
I would come back for that for sure.
Yeah. You know what I'm wondering?
What?
What are people saying about Kilter?
So people are saying, 4.8 out of 5 stars on Google.
Yep.
Kilter has a lot more ratings than the others.
Yes.
Just for having been around longer.
I would also say that, like, we were in there on Saturday at 3:00.
Yeah.
And it was packed.
It was very busy.
It was very busy.
And lots of action coming in and out of the door. So people were picking up beer and taking it home for the weekend, I'm assuming.
A lot of people picking up.
Yeah. Yeah. So the lowest rating I found was 1 out of 5 stars. Lots of spelling errors here. Too rowdy for the nice, quiet residential area it's in. Just doesn't fit. Beer is mediocre at best.
Signed a neighbor.
Signed by GC.
Oh.
So, you know who your neighbor is. I'm going to go on a limb and say it is residential, like the neighborhood's residential, but it's also very industrial there. It's a kind of a weird mix.
You cross the street and it's like suddenly very industrial.
Yeah.
I have never had to park too far up the
just
block,
like a
even
blocker.
when it's full.
Yeah.
It honestly doesn't seem like a rowdy crowd to me.
Well, the crowd, I mean,
Hipsters.
who knows? Yeah, but who knows what's happening late at night? I'm sure residents have experienced a change in the neighborhood as a result of having a brewery there. Mm-hmm. I would say that's more of an indictment on the city's zoning policies than it is on the brewery.
Yes.
Because we have single-family residential right next to industrial.
Yeah, and we should mention too that to operate a brewery or to brew beer on premises, you have to be zoned industrial.
Yeah.
It can't just be commercial zoning.
Yeah.
So they're on a weird street.
It is just a very strange little pocket mixing industrial and residential.
And hey, I live 300 meters from a brewery.
We learned.
You don't hear me complaining.
Well, we do though.
What's our top rating?
Our top rating is, well, there are many.
Yeah.
So I just picked one. This is from KZ.
Oh, sounds like half of a radio station. KZ 780 in the morning.
KZ has a name as well, but I will mispronounce it, so I'm just going to go with KZ.
Sure.
That's apparently a nickname. I'm not making that up. Driving to Kilter at nighttime might seem like going to a movie murder scene. However, once you see the beautiful lit up tree, calmness settles. Inside, it's like a futuristic Starbucks, but better with awesome beer. The ambiance is great, but staff could be more cheerful. Recommend the vintage beer.
That review is all over the place.
All over. I had to.
That person had 18 beers at that point.
Even if they were just tastes.
Do you have a haiku for me?
I sure do.
Hit it.
All right. Kilter's fruity brews. Lovely flavors burst with each sip. Pure refreshment joy.
Okay. I mean, they're not bad. They're not bad.
I may have tweaked like a word or two.
Yeah. Are you ready for a human written one?
Yes, please hit me.
We came for the beer, but stayed for the chips and dip. Next time, we'll get 2. Cue the music. Yay!